Well, by now I've interviewed a bunch of Kean University's student athletes on this show, but today we're going to speak with the person in charge of looking after those athletes, making sure they're always on their A game. Joining me now is the Director of Sports Medicine at Kean University, Denise Wujciak. Denise, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mike. Good morning.
Good morning. Pleasure to have you. So let me ask you this. When did you know you wanted to get into a field where you could ultimately help others?
So I hurt my own back in high school, and I'm old, so I didn't have an athletic trainer at my high school when I got hurt. I wound up doing my own rehab and kind of trying to get myself back to sport as quickly as I could. So I kind of knew that's what I wanted to do moving forward. I started out wanting to do physical therapy because I didn't know what athletic training was because I didn't have an athletic trainer. After I did some research, I was like, and doing some observations, I said, PT is not for me. I need more motivated people to work with. And I found athletic training. And after 3 years at one school, I transferred and changed my major. And here I am as an athletic trainer at Kean now for 22 years.
As they say, the rest is history. So obviously, it's not just you providing care for these student athletes. It's you have an entire team you work with. Who are the people on your staff helping you out?
So I'm very fortunate for a Division III university. We have a very large staff. I have great support here at Kean University. So I have a managing assistant director who is my right-hand woman, Brianna Lee. And then I have three full-time assistants, Jack Garudo, Jackie Sivadanes, and David Amaral. And then I'm also lucky that I have two certified athletic trainers as grad assistants. That's Gracie and Chelsea. Unfortunately, they're graduating and I'm going to miss them terribly. And then I have a coordinator of athletic training operations, Jenna Lara. So I have a lot of support. It allows us to be able to assign athletic trainers to sports. Everybody has their own athletic trainer. It provides better continuity of care. And it's just been a great system for our student athletes for their health and well-being.
Great group of people. So now, what are some of the most common injuries you deal with?
Our athletes like to keep us on our toes. So, and we see the ankle injuries, we see the ACL tears, the labrum tears of the shoulder. We see a lot of the common stuff, but then we see a lot of uncommon things too. My team doctor, Dr. Mark Harrington, he'll call me and be like, "What is going on at Kean? Why do you guys always have these weird things happening with you?" So we see a lot of interesting things. I think the hardest injury I ever dealt with was I had a athlete who had low back pain and we sent him for an MRI and it wound up he had a mass on his liver, and I was the one who kind of had to tell him that there was a chance he had cancer, and he wound up having lymphoma and having to go through treatments, and it was not something that my college career or anything ever prepared me for. So we deal with the simple to the not so simple on a daily basis.
Now, you've been at Kean University for over 20 years. Can you talk to me about how things have changed in your field during that time in terms of advancements in medicine, technology, and how you treat student athletes today?
Sure. I mean, surgical techniques have changed significantly over the years. We try to keep up to date with all of that. Our team doctors at Ocean Orthopedics recently just did a whole seminar with us on the differences in the surgical techniques now. And we did a cadaver lab and they let us get involved in the surgery, which was really cool. So just we have to keep up to date with that. We have our team doctor, Dr. Harrington, does diagnostic ultrasound. So we're able to see some things without having to get an MRI. We had a baseball player we thought maybe had a UCL injury. We were able to do diagnostic ultrasound as opposed to an MRI on him and get some results. And rehab in general has just changed tremendously. When I started here, everything was done on the table. You did straight leg raises, and now it's whole body rehab and making sure that we're taking care of everything above and below the injury site as well. So
Now, in 2012, you received the Kean University Presidential Excellence Award. Can you take us through that moment and talk about how special that was?
I can. Athletic trainers are normally the unsung heroes. They're the ones that are behind the scenes. They don't really look for fame or glory. They just do it to do it. And that's kind of how I always just worked. I head down, worked hard, did what I needed to do for the student athletes. So to have somebody nominate me and to have a committee actually pick me as one of the candidates for the award was really a huge honor for me. I think that was probably a proud mom and dad moment as well, because they got to actually see my hard work paying off. So.
It's fantastic. Now, I read your bio and saw that you treat over 600 student athletes per year, and you've been at Kean for over 2 decades. There are student athletes who've graduated and will never forget you. Then there are student athletes you haven't even met yet that you're going to have a huge impact on. What's it like knowing you have such an influence over so many individuals?
It's amazing. I know that I can come to work every day and make a difference in someone's life, whether big or small. So I could walk in and just know from knowing their personality, somebody's off a little bit and be like, hey, you good? And it could be, yeah, I just did bad on a test. I'm just a little down. Or I just found out a family member passed away. Or I just got really bad news about something else. And it's just nice to know that I can make those differences. I still get text messages from student athletes, athletic training students who've been out 10 plus years thanking me. Hey, remember that time you did this for me? I was just thinking about it and I wanted to say thank you. I had an alumni come back just recently. She was on a panel discussion for athletics and she was like, you're a staple at Kean. Like, I can't imagine the athletic training room without you in it. So it's just nice to know that you make those differences for people every day.
It is so rewarding. Now, for you to have been working at Kean as long as you have, you obviously love what you do. What makes working at Kean University so special?
It's definitely the people. I deal with people all over campus, not just our student athletes. Since COVID and with social media, we deal a lot more with mental health. So I deal a lot more with people on campus regarding that. But really, it's the people I work with. It's the coaches, it's the student athletes, it's the athletic training students, the exercise science students. They just make it worthwhile because they just, I know they grow and I watch them grow and they're like my own kids. So it's just exciting to be here and see them go through stuff, and alumni coming back for alumni days and them coming in to see me, like coming out of their way, going out of their way to see me. It's really nice.
Denise Wujciak, Director of Sports Medicine at Kean University, thanks so much for taking the time today.
Thank you, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Head over to ONNJ.com for the latest news and sports anytime.